Welcome back, everyone, to the Bears Profit Plays YouTube channel. Today is Wednesday, July 31st, and I'm back breaking down some more games in the MLB for the slate tonight. We're going to be looking at a couple more games, and we're going to start with the Arizona Diamondbacks going up against the Washington Nationals. The best play of the day is going to be between the Chicago Cubs and the Cincinnati Reds. Another 4-player props today, and the 2 best player props being towards the end of the video. As always, I hope everybody has a great Wednesday. Get yourself past hump day, and let's break down some ball. All right, guys, let's take a look at the recap from Tuesday night. When you're cold, you're cold. The Philadelphia Phillies up 4-1 after an Austin Hayes bomb. Going to extras. Think we're going to win it in the 10th. Don't win it in the 10th. Think we're going to win the 11th. Bryce Harper has them loaded. 2 outs, I believe, and he sharply grounded out to first base. And then the Yankees take it in 12th. So that one was a really tough loss. The good news is Patrick Corbin, he knew we were struggling. He knew we were hurting. He goes out there and gives up 13 hits and 10 runs in 2 innings going up against the Diamondbacks. So shout out Patrick Corbin. He's always got my back. Ketel Marte, we had to take him over 2.5 bases. 1.5 was a little bit juiced at minus 170. So over 2.5 bases at plus 125. He did get 2 singles off of Patrick Corbin. That game is in the 3rd inning. So hopefully he stays in the game. The D-backs don't take anybody out and he gets another hit. We had the Astros minus 1.5 going up against the Pirates. Currently still going, but it's 6-2 in favor of the Pirates. We had a pitching change in that one, so I had to take the minus 1.5. Jose Altuve over 1.5 bases. That one not looking great as well. Does not have a hit. He might get up in the bottom of the 9th, but we shall see. And then Bryce Harper, he just didn't look like he was motivated at all today. Over 1.5 bases. I don't know. Something about Bryce Harper, I feel like sometimes he's really locked in. Sometimes he's not even engaged at all. So maybe that's just me. Maybe that's what I've been noticing about Bryce Harper, but didn't look like he wanted to be on the field tonight. So that's something to look at for the future. Let's take a look at the leaderboard right now. It's 0-1 on the game pick, 1-0 on the player prop, and hopefully Ketel Marte can get us another single to have a 2-1 day on the best bets here. Let's take a look at the plays for tomorrow. Now, we're going to start with the Washington Nationals going up against the Arizona Diamondbacks. And yesterday, or 2 days ago, I guess, was a wild day for the Washington Nationals. It was Monday, since you guys are watching this on Wednesday. But we sent one of our best players away, Lane Thomas. Then we went 6 runs on the Arizona Diamondbacks on the road. Kyle Finnegan, who's been really good for us all season long, came in, gave up a 4-run lead in the 9th, and then Corbin Carroll walked it off for the Arizona Diamondbacks in the bottom of the 9th. I say that's a wild day, but to be completely honest, that's a normal kind of day for the Washington Nationals fans. Feel like we have that all the time happen to us, minus the trading players part. But anyway, in this game, we're going to have another left-handed pitcher going for the Washington Nationals. We have a ton of those in rotation, and that's not going to be a good thing going up against the Diamondbacks. It took the Diamondbacks a little bit to start getting their bats hot on Monday night, but it didn't take any time at all for them to crush Patrick Corbin tonight, putting up 11 runs already in 2 innings. This team, they love hitting left-handed pitching. I'm going to take the Diamondbacks in this game. Team total over 4.5 runs, played up to 5.5 runs. That's the play. It's going to be Mackenzie Gore back on the mound for the Washington Nationals. He's been pretty good for us this season, but recently he has been really struggling. That's been the normal thing for the National Stars over the last month. It feels like nobody can get on rhythm. Mackenzie Gore is no different than the other guys, now giving up 3+ runs in 4 consecutive games, and he's coming off his worst start of the season going up against the Cardinals in his last one. In that game, he went 5 innings, gave up 9 hits, 6 runs, and 2 home runs, bringing his ERA up to 4.51 of the season. After the Minnesota Twins on Monday night also struggled against the lefty on the mound, the Arizona Diamondbacks are now the best hitting team in baseball going up against left-handed pitching, and Mackenzie Gore is a lefty. This team is loaded with players who can hit the fastball, and that's his favorite pitch as well. He throws it 55% of the time. We're going to see the fastball a lot out of Mackenzie Gore, and that's going to lead to a lot of people getting on base and a lot of people getting across the plate. If you're looking for a side in this game, I would obviously go with the Arizona Diamondbacks, because not only are they going to out-hit the Washington Nationals, they've got Zach Gallen on the mound, who's probably their best overall starting pitcher. And remember, though, Gallen, he has been struggling just a little bit over the last couple of games. So take that into consideration before we put any money on anything. For my pick here on the game, give me the D-backs over 4.5. Team total has to play, probably 5.5 has to play there. For the player prop on the screen, we're going to be taking Ketel Marte to go over 1.5 bases. And again, probably going to have to take it over 2.5 bases because he's getting a left-handed matchup. There is nobody better in baseball. I've said this for a while. There's nobody better in baseball, in my opinion, than Ketel Marte going up against left-handed pitching. He doesn't get a lot of opportunities going up against the left side, but whenever he does get the opportunities, he crushes them. We saw that in the first game, having 2 hits off of Mitchell Park, and we saw that on Tuesday night going up against Patrick Corbin. And even if he doesn't get a base knock in this game going up against Mackenzie Gore, which I think he will, he's been really good on both sides of the plate this season as a switch hitter. He has 24 extra base hits against lefties and against righties this season, so he does have a lot of extra base hits on the year. For the matchup going up against Mackenzie Gore, he's hitting .356 against left-handed pitching, 14 home runs, 9 doubles going up against lefties. He only has 149 at-bats as well. Give me his over 1.5 bases as the play here. Let's go over to the best play of the day. We're going to be looking at the Chicago Cubs going up against the Cincinnati Reds. We're going to have Kyle Hendricks on the mound for the Cubs, and he has been one of the most confusing pitchers in baseball this year. Both times that I've taken against Kyle Hendricks, he has found a way to come out there and deliver 7 innings of perfect baseball. Against the Giants, he went 7 innings. He gave up just 5 hits, 2 runs. Against the Cardinals, he went 7 innings, giving up 5 hits, no runs. And I've said this every single time that I break down Kyle. I don't think he's a big league pitcher anymore because he really doesn't have the velocity. He's throwing a ton of meatballs, and usually if you're throwing 89 miles per hour right down the plate, that's going to lead to some hits. That's going to lead to some runs. But for some reason, both times whenever I go against him, he's a Cy Young pitcher. But if you take a look at the games, other than 2 that I've taken over the last couple months, going up against the Royals and the Diamondbacks, he gave up 6 runs and 3 runs. He's coming into this game with a 6.95 ERA and a 1.49 whip. And I'm going to take the Reds in this game, minus 0.5 on the first 5 as the play. The Chicago Cubs, they continue to be one of the worst hitting teams in baseball, and I think that's going to continue in this game. I don't think anything's going to miraculously change for this team. And the only reason that they're competitive in most of their games is because the pitching bails them out. With Kyle Hendricks on the mound, I don't think that pitching is going to bail them out in this game. And Nick Lodolo, he has been beaten up a little bit over the last couple games, but against the Tampa Bay Rays in his last game, he only gave up 2 runs. He went nearly 7 innings. It was one of his best starts over the last 5 days, and I think he's going to build off that, getting a good matchup here going up against the Cubs bats. He's coming in with a pretty good numbers as well in the season, 3.45 ERA and a 1.11 whip, and I'm going to trust him in this game over Kyle Hendricks. Give me the Reds here on the first 5, minus 0.5 as the play. For the player prop on the screen, I'm going to go with Spencer Steer of the Cincinnati Reds, go over 1.5 bases going up against the Cubs. I like the matchup here for Spencer Steer going up against Hendricks, who does love to throw cookies right over the plate at about 90 miles per hour. And it doesn't take much for Steer to hit one out of the park. He does have 12 home runs already on the year against right-handed pitching, including 14 doubles. And I'm really looking for the changeup in this game. It doesn't necessarily have to be a sinker. Kyle Hendricks this season, he throws a changeup 80 miles per hour on average, and the sinker at 88. So there's not a whole lot of difference between those 2 pitches, but there is a pretty big difference from Spencer Steer against the changeup to the sinker, because against the changeup, he's hitting 320 on the year. He does hit the sinker pretty well this season also, but because Kyle Hendricks throws that changeup nearly 40% of the time, I'm expecting him to sit on one and send it out of the park. Give me over 1.5 bases for Spencer Steer as the play there. Let's go over to the best props of the day. We're going to start with the batting prop. We're going to be looking at Brent Rooker of the Oakland Athletics to go over 1.5 bases going up against the Giants. Typically, I'd never touch anybody on the Athletics or the Chicago White Sox, but we've got a really good matchup in this game for Brent Rooker, and he's getting a matchup going up against one of the best pitchers in baseball over the last several years in Logan Webb. But Logan Webb, he has been getting hit a lot over the last several games, and I do think he's going to give up a few base knocks in this game to Brent Rooker. We are going to start with the stats for Logan, who's coming in with a 3.72 ERA and a 1.32 whip. So those numbers, they are pretty good on the season, but over the last 10 games, he has given up 7+ hits in 6 of the last 10 games, coming off back-to-back performances, giving up 8+ hits. Whenever I talk about Logan Webb, I always say he's so good at getting himself out of jams, but he does give up a lot of hits. And against the Dodgers and the Rockies, 17 in total hits over the last 2 games. Logan Webb, he does feature the sinker the most of any pitch he throws, about 40% of the time. Brent Rooker this season is not only really good at hitting that pitch, he is the best player in baseball going up against the sinker. He's better than Ohtani. He's better than Judge. He's better than Soto. He's better than Bobby Witt. He is the best player in baseball against that pitch. He has a plus 15 run value on the season. He is hitting it .510 against a sinker, seeing it 213 times this year. We're going to see some sinkers in this game thrown at him, and I'm hoping he takes one for a ride. Give me the over 1.5 bases as the play there. For the pitching prop tonight, we are going to be looking at the Houston Astros going up against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Give me Framber Valdez go under 2.5 runs going up against the Pirates as the play. Yesterday, the Pirates, they only really had 1 run in the first 5 innings because there was a lot of errors in the field. It really was just Hunter Brown, John Singleton kicking the ball back and forth, having 2 errors. That cost the Astros, I believe it was 3 runs between the 5th and the 6th inning. But I do still think the Pirates are having a lot of trouble putting up runs, even though they technically scored 3 in the first 5 going up against the Astros on Tuesday night. Valdez, I'm going back to him in this game because he has been very good for the Astros over the last 3 games, giving up just 3 runs over the last 3. And against the Dodgers in his last game, he was lights out, only allowing 4 total hits and no runs allowed. He struck out 10 batters. And something is definitely going on with Valdez over the last couple games because he has 10+ strikeouts in 2 of the last 3 games. And this is a guy who doesn't have 100 strikeouts on the season in 18 appearances. He is feeling himself on the mound, and I've been very impressed watching him rack up the strikeouts because typically he's not a big strikeout guy. I think he's going to rack up the strikeouts once again in this game because the Pirates, they do struggle with the sinker a little bit, but this team, they can't hit the curveball whatsoever. They only have 2 active players in this lineup for the game to hit a curveball over 200 on the season. Connor Joe, O'Neal Cruz, Brian Reynolds, Andrew McCutcheon, Riley Tellez, Michael Taylor, Yasmani Grandal, Jack Sawinski, all of those guys, they're hitting below 200 batting average against the curveball. Most of them are below 150 as well. We're going to see a lot of swing and misses in this game. I'm taking them under 2.5 runs as the best play of the day there. Let's go over to the graphic recap. We are going to be taking the D-backs team total over 4.5 runs, play that up to 5.5 going up against the Nats. Ketel Marte over 1.5 bases, played up to 2.5 bases going up against the Nats. Spencer Steer over 1.5 bases in the matchup against Kyle Hendricks. They gave me the Reds. First 5 -0.5 as the best play of the day. Brent Rooker over 1.5 bases. He's going to see a sinker and send it a far away. And then Framber Valdez under 2.5 runs going up against the Pittsburgh Pirates there. Guys, that's going to do it. The MLB picks and props for Wednesday, July 31st slated games. If you guys enjoyed the content, please sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe channel below. See you guys next video, and thanks for watching.